Okay, the meeting of Atlantic County Board of Commissioners is called to order in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Current, the Daily Journal, the Hamilton Gazette, and the Hamilton News, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. And in anticipation of Memorial Day, I'd like to ask that we observe a moment of silence after the prayer to honor the men and women who died while serving in the U.S. military.
God of all nations and people, grant us the knowledge and compassion to wisely execute the duties of our office. We ask, O God, that you bless our nation and this world with peaceful solutions in all controversy. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Stand and place your flag. Attention, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Risley will not be in attendance this evening, and Commissioners Days and Gatto will be joining virtually along with Legislative Counsel Andrew. Ballas.
Here.
Bertino.
Here.
Horsey. Days. Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Gatto. Parker.
Here.
And Kern.
Here. The commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from May 3rd, 2022. I'll entertain a motion to adopt May 3rd, 2022 minutes as presented.
So moved. Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? All those in favor? Okay, okay, anyone, did you want to do a roll call on that one, on the minutes?
Sure. Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days. Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto. Parker.
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes. Anyone that would like to speak during public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and town that you reside. You're provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you are attending virtually, please type yes and the resolution number in the question and answer box. Any items not listed on the agenda, you may speak during public comments. You will be raised from an attendee to a panelist. When you're raised, please state your name and the town you reside. Okay, I'm always pleased that the board has the opportunity to interview individuals in positions that benefit the residents of Atlantic County. And we thank you for being here for that. I'd invite the board to take this opportunity to ask questions of Ms. Robin, an employee of the county, and Ms. Kyle, a volunteer. So, Madam Clerk.
Appointment of Tammy Lynn Robbins as Department Head for Atlantic County Administrative Services, Resolution number 274.
Motion.
Second. Motion has been made and second. We will now welcome Tammy Lynn Robbins up for an interview. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
You can relax. Not yet. Pitbull's
That just takes it right out.
not here today.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the county executive, our county administrator, and my peers for giving me the opportunity to stand up here today. I've been with the county for 28 years. Most of that time has been spent in the Department of Administrative Services. During my career, I have held several roles in different departments. Most recently, I was the acting Department Head of Human Services. In that role, I learned rather quickly what it takes to be a department head and what the demands are of a department head. And with that, I'm very excited to start this role. And I understand the demands of the position, and I am looking forward to continuing to serve the taxpayers of Lane County. And Thank you for having me.
Thanks. I mean, I'm sure you learned more during the pandemic time. So,
A lot.
Just one issue, and that you hit it on the head. We had an opportunity for a couple of issues at Human Services that we needed to work on, and we were using Ms. Savage, who is now the Department Head for Human Services. So we needed to put somebody in there temporarily. We talked, obviously, the executive and I had some conversations, and he placed Tammy over there. But Tammy had to work, because this is very unusual, to have to work with COVID and the kinds of issues that the nursing home was facing. Much different than, I can be very honest with you, I was a department head when there wasn't COVID, and the issues were much less intense. I mean, we had 180 beds filled when I was there. We didn't have to worry about masking, we didn't have to worry about isolation, you didn't have to worry about quarantining, you didn't have to worry about this issue, you don't have to worry about the testing once a week and whether or not the staff are tested. So she did a great job, so he's one of the
She's still here.
Yes, exactly. Right. She didn't run away. Right.
Commissioners? Commissioner Bertino?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tammy, I was looking through your resume. You've done a variety of duties here in Atlantic County, and it looks like you've done them all very admirably. So I think you're going to be a great fit as the department head there. You certainly have the experience of understanding and knowledge of county government, working with administration in the past, and I expect you, obviously, to continue doing that in the future. Look forward to supporting you as the department head today. Thank you.
Any other? Mr. Bowles?
So, Tammy, if you could just give us a rundown on what your new responsibilities as in this position, what they will be.
Well, the Department of Administrative Services really does support the other departments throughout the county, so all the resources, HR, IT, purchasing, I will oversee all that, and just the main goal is to support the departments and provide the resources that they need, their staff, to provide services to county residents.
Any other commissioners? Any,
I guess I'll see the best for
Well, I don't know. We need a vote.
do you have anything, sir?
Jerry already put me in short pants out there.
Okay. I'm
Congratulations.
sorry, Mr. Ferguson.
Yeah, I've been county council for 19 years. I've worked with Tammy in a number of roles in county government. She's also one of the commissioners for the Atlantic County Insurance Commission, which the county is involved in. She's very bright, very knowledgeable, and very hardworking. She'll be an excellent department head. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, no other comments? Anybody on, we have Amy or anybody that
Look at no Rich Days. You got any comments? Rich has been Galloway.
Okay, do we have any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, and thanks for all your hard work.
Congratulations.
That don't mean you have to stay for the whole meeting, though.
I already told her that.
That is real torture to say.
Okay, now we have the appointment of Monica Kyle.
Appointment of Monica Kyle to the Atlantic Cape Community College Board of Trustees, Resolution 275.
We have a motion and a second. I will now welcome Monica Kyle up on the interview.
Thank you. First, I would also like to thank the county executive and the board of commissioners for having me here today. My name is Monica Kyle. I live in the city of Northfield. I moved to Atlantic County approximately 40 years ago and never left. I currently serve, I live in Atlantic County with my husband and 2 daughters. We love Northfield. I currently serve as the municipal clerk for the borough of Longport. I'm also the certified municipal registrar. I've had approximately 20 years of service in local government in various positions, not just as orchestra, I've been in the construction department, the courts. I also served as the communications manager for the Atlantic County Utilities Authority and also worked for the South Jersey Economic Development Council. So I have a plethora of experience in local government services. Prior to that, I worked full-time as a journalist for a local newspaper. Hello, good afternoon. That many of you might be familiar with, the Current newspapers, which I first covered one of these meetings approximately 20 years ago. So it's kind of ironic to be here again, but on this side of the podium. I'm a licensed registered municipal clerk, a certified municipal registrar. I'm also certified as a technical assistant to the construction official. I'm part of the Northfield Mothers Club, and I'm also the clerk, secretary for the Atlantic County Municipal Clerks Association.
A lot of
I'm sorry, I know it's a lot of information. I hope it was within 3 minutes. I don't know if you have any additional questions for me. I really look forward to the opportunity to serve. The county college is near and dear to my heart. I think it's a vital service that it provides, and it really provides opportunities for many different sectors of the community. And I just got to be a part of it. Thank you.
Just one, Monica, I appreciate that, because that was what I was going to ask you. What is your reason why you want to be on the board of trustees instead of the college? But you did answer that. So it's obvious you have a wealth of experience and knowledge working in a variety of locations here. That all of them, I noticed most of the time, were serving with the public, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
So this will be a good fit, especially in the trustees role there at the college, and trying to make sure you work with all the variety of issues you'll have with student enrollment participation and faculty, and also the changes that are coming about with Rowan and some of the other institutions that we are partnering with, Rutgers and stuff. So you're doing a nice job.
Very exciting, yes.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners, questions, comments? Anything from Ms. Gatto or Mr. Days? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you do, but they don't. Okay, that brings us to our bond ordinances. Bond ordinance number 2.
Bond orders providing for various 2022 capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment by and in the County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, appropriating $25,632,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $24,349,000 bonds or notes in finance part of the cost thereof. Final reading.
Motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any commissioner comments? Seeing none, any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us bond ordinance number 3 for the final reading.
Bond orders providing for various capital improvements for fiscal year 2022 by and for the Atlantic Cape Community College, appropriating $4,807,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4,807,000 bonds or notes of the County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, for financing such appropriation, the principal of and interest on the aggregate principal amount of which will be entitled to state aid pursuant to Chapter 12 of the laws of New Jersey of 1971. Final reading.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any commissioner comments? Seeing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to our capital ordinances with capital ordinance 1.
Capital ordinance providing for various capital improvements, equipment, and furnishings in and for the County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $4,708,166 from the Capital Improvements Fund and/or the Capital Surplus Fund to pay for the cost thereof. Final reading.
made second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. So this is ordinance number 5 for the first.
Ordinance adopting various changes to the Atlantic County Code, first reading.
Move. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing
Madam
none.
Chair.
Oh. Yep, Commissioner Days?
Yeah, I just wanted to state that the orders number 5 and 6 were both discussed at the County Code Review Committee. Number 5 is pretty much just cleaning up a lot of the language, dealing with different departments and personnel in county government. And number 6 for a special event that's an ongoing event for Gilda's Club.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, any other commissioner comments? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days? Days?
Yes. Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yeah.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Now we have ordinance number 6 for a first reading.
Ordinance effectuating a change in section 96-132 of the Atlantic County Code to permit the holding of a special event with alcohol at the Lake Lenape Park West, first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none. First reading, so we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to our resolution with resolution 248.
Annual Open Space Trust Fund Tax 2022, first reading.
Motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any commissioner comments? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to resolution 249.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Military and Veterans Affairs for the Veterans Transportation Assistance Grant. Amount not to exceed $17,000.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 250.
Grant application and acceptance from New Jersey Transit for the Job Access Reverse Commute Program Grant, funded amount $125,000, county cash match $125,000.
Motion. Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 251.
Grant application and acceptance from New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division of Aging Services for the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, amount not to exceed $37,000.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 252.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Children and Families, Division of the Children's System of Care for the Youth Services Coordinator Grant, amount not to exceed $39,825.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none. Anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to resolution 253.
Amending Resolution Number 104, adopted March 15, 2022, a cost reimbursement subaward agreement with Rowan University for funding from the COVID-19 vaccination program Activity B 2022 grant for the costs associated with Rowan's Medicine's COVID-19 vaccination program. Amount not to exceed $60,000.
Second. Motion's been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas? Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions number 254 to 257 of Chapter 150.
So moved.
Motion made second. Any commissioner comments? Yes.
Board member of Vanguard, which receives funds from
Do we need to pull that one and vote on it separately?
I believe the legislative council would tell us to do that. I don't know if he, can you hear us, Rick?
Is he on mute? You're muted. I think it doesn't say mute up there.
He was having a problem earlier.
And
I would just separately, Madam Chair.
I'm pulling that one out.
Sounds like to me.
yeah, we'll pull it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Want me to amend that motion? Sure. I will amend that motion with 256 pulled out, to combine the rest of them except for 256.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Do you want a roll call on that one?
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. And that brings us to 256.
State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety Sexual Assault Response Team Forensic Nurse Examiner Program, 2122, in the amount of $90,238.
Motion.
Motion made second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, for the services, I might have lost on that last one. I know we motioned to combine those, the default one passing it. Okay.
Or just what we're doing second.
Okay.
Any other comments from the commissioners? Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas? Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi? Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to our professional services with resolution 258.
Professional services agreement with Colliers Engineering and Design Incorporated to provide material testing services for various dam and transportation infrastructure related projects. Amount not to exceed $151,212.50.
Motion been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, any from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi? Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 259.
Professional services agreement to establish a pool of medical providers for the provision of medical services to inmates at the Atlantic County Justice Facility. Amount not to exceed $700,000.
Move.
Motion made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, any from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Now brings us to bid contracts with resolution 260.
Bid contract with Able Mechanical Incorporated to provide preventative maintenance and repairs on the food service equipment for Atlantic County. amount not to exceed $140,640.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes, as long as they're equal.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Pass.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
yes,
Parker,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 261.
Bid contract with Atlas Elevator Incorporated to provide elevator maintenance and repairs to various county buildings. Amount not to exceed $227,054.80.
Motion been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
yes,
Parker.
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 262.
Bid contract with Peterson Service Company to provide maintenance and repair to county building management systems. Amount not to exceed $113,550.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners?
I just noticed that that went down. How did that happen? From last year, it was 137.
Who knows? I mean, it's hard to tell unless they thought it was going to be very competitive.
Okay.
Nothing goes.
Do we have any other comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
yes,
Parker.
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 263, please.
Bid contract with Rich Fire Protection for fire sprinkler head replacement, fire equipment inspections, and miscellaneous repairs. Amount not to exceed $340,472.
Motion been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair? Yes, to Jerry or Jerry. Is this for all the sprinkler heads or just defective ones?
Is Jerry on?
I'm on that.
Yeah.
So no, this is the year contract maintenance repair, and also inspections of all the locations. We have 25 different locations. We do inspections, for example, Meadows is done 4 times a year. We check all the sprinklers, all the flow valves, all pretty much the whole entire system, the stand pumps. They run the fire pumps. So the inspection is one part of it, and then we added extra money in to change sprinkler heads. I believe it was an extra $80,000 for the 2-year contract this time. And then we also added an additional close to $100,000 for repacking and rebuilding of several fire pumps that the previous year's inspections have been proven that leaking and need maintenance, so we've got to rebuild them.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Dallas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
yes,
Parker.
yes,
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 264.
Amending Resolution Number 66 adopted February 15, 2022, an agreement with the Juvenile Justice Commission for Management Services at Harbor Fields Juvenile Detention Center to extend the term date, amount not to exceed $1,486,000.
Move.
Motion been made second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
yes,
Parker.
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to Resolution 265.
Resolution authorizing the county to make purchase to the state of New Jersey's Cooperative Purchasing Program, amount not to exceed $10,382,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 266.
Resolution authorizing the sale of surplus and obsolete office equipment, radios, and furniture through an online auction, revenue generating.
Motion made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Bring us to resolution 267.
National County Purchasing Alliance contract with Comcast Business Services for the purchase of telecommunications services, including bandwidth for internal and external communications. Amount not to exceed $362,827.80.
Now motion.
Snap, you got somewhere to go.
Motion been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 268, please.
Intergovernmental agreement with Cape Atlantic Soil Conservation District for the provision of technical assistance on water and soil conservation matters. Amount not to exceed $20,000.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 269.
Public donor agreement with Avanzar for the provision of shelter and counseling services for the first half of 2022. County in-kind contribution $63,150.91.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas? Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. And thank you for serving on the board for so long.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to 271.
Public donor agreement with Avanzar for the provision of shelter and counseling services for the second half of 2022. County in-kind contribution $63,150.91.
Motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair,
Yes?
so that the record is accurate, I think you said 271. It's 70.
Okay. 270. Okay.
270. 270.
You just called it 270.
Okay. 270.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, you want a roll call?
Yes, please.
Ballas?
Abstain.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 271.
Extraordinary unspecifiable services contract with Insurance Agencies Incorporated to purchase a policy which will reduce the named storm wind deductible. Amount not to exceed $37,332.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments?
I just have a question. Is this new? Did we ever have this before?
We've had it for a few years. You remember, right, Jim?
We've had this for about the last, I think, 5 or 6 years. Basically, under our property insurance coverage, we are subject to a self-insured retention. And depending on where those properties are located, if we had a large-scale event where we had significant property damage, we could be facing deductibles or self-insured retentions of up to $1 million that the county would have to fork out. By paying this, and this is part of it because the HCUA also joins in. In fact, they even have a greater risk than we do, so their amount is higher. I think this total is like $85,000. They pay like 60% of it, we're like 40% roundabout. But if we had a named wind, like a hurricane or whatever, or something like Superstorm Sandy, and we had significant damage, our deductible or self-insured retention would be limited to $100,000 rather than the possibility of going as high as $1 million. So I think it's well worth it. It's something we've done over the, I think it's been 5 or 6 years we've had it.
Thank you. Any other comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. And this is resolution 272.
EUS contract with Insurance Agencies Incorporated to obtain flood insurance for the Atlantic County Animal Shelter, amount not to exceed $1,930.
Motion made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas? Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 273.
Resolution authorizing the donation of a decommissioned county transportation bus to the Absecon Fire Department.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi? Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. The next one's appointments, and I'll entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolutions 276 to 278.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? I just, again, as we always do, the entire board thanks, everyone who comes on to these boards. They are volunteer, and we appreciate their commitment. Okay, anything from the public? Okay, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Now we're in roadway solicitations with resolution 279.
Authorizing consent of a roadway solicitation event by Bargaintown Volunteer Fire Company Number 2 at the intersection of Ocean Heights Avenue, County Route 559, and Zion Road, County Route 615, in the Township of Egg Harbor on Saturday, May 28, 2022, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. And that's our commissioner-sponsored resolutions, which I have two, and I just want to say, as I mentioned last meeting, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It provides us with the ability to continue to bring awareness. 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 6 children ages 6 to 17 in the U.S. experience mental illness each year. So there's Resolution 280.
Resolution recognizing May 2022 as Mental Health Awareness Month. Sponsor, Commissioner Kern.
Motion's been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Okay, and I just want to say again, making the awareness of certain things as we do, throughout the year, it really does help. We went through, I think I gave some statistics last time about how, how mental health illness has been recognized more in about 87% as something to really focus on. Okay.
Madam Chair, I think we should just recognize, we do offer so many services out there for anybody who hopefully struggling, needs support. Visit our website and we can reach out to any of us, and I'm sure any of us can help connected with the support they need.
Yeah, we do have quite a bit of resources that people aren't familiar with within the county and also within the state. And we do try to get that information out. And it's for the individuals that are suffering as well as their families and their children. So there's quite a bit.
So I just wanted, so the board knows, so we do have an EAP, Employee Assistance Program. And if I remember correctly, approximately 6, if somebody were having difficulty, they could call the phone number, get up to 6 counseling sessions through the service, that we have through the EAP, and you guys vote on that. The other thing is that because of COVID, I don't know how many of you have read about the mental health condition of the United States and the world in general. So we began looking at this, and so we have a program with Jewish Family Service presently. We decided to do our public health division first. And so right now we're doing some counseling. I don't want to say counseling because it's not technically counseling, but it's working through issues that employees might have as a group. If an employee expresses a concern, individual concern beyond that group, Jewish Family Services would handle that. And we're doing that, testing it to see how it works there, then we're going to move it out to other units and departments in the county. So you know that.
No, thank you for mentioning that, because that's great, and more businesses and corporations are starting to address it more. So, it's something that we need, so I'm glad to hear that.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Jerry's saying, and just for any employees that are listening, and employees of other workplaces, all the counseling sessions and appointments are all confidential. So nothing is shared with your employee or so a lot of times people have that fear to go see someone because they don't want their coworkers, their supervisors, or anybody in their workplace knowing that they're suffering from something. So having the EAP service is a great opportunity for somebody to reach out, get the help, and get the counseling and the treatment that they need before something turns bad.
Again, not only companies and corporations, a lot of the schools implemented, a number of ways that children can be addressed as well.
So I came across some information just today, actually, and it kind of piggybacks on what Commissioner Ballas was saying about shame and stigma associated with mental health. And what I learned is that there's DNA that contributes to this. Just like you have brown or blue eyes, some people are more prone, because of the DNA that they get from their parents, to be depressed or to feel a certain way that inhibits them and keeps them from achieving their full potential. And if you know that, and you can identify that as something that's physical and not something that a person did to make them feel that way themselves, you can then learn to maybe recognize the feelings or recognize the behavior and get yourself a little toolkit, which you also get from counseling. But knowing that that was a physical thing that's inherited in families, I think that's really important information. That it's not something that you did. It's in you, and you can deal with that once you know that. Just like you have diabetes or something,
Yeah.
It's just like that.
It's important to keep ourselves educated. What's going on. So thank you for that. Okay, well, roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yeah.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, and May is also Brain Cancer Awareness Month. Over 80,000 people will be diagnosed in 2022. Like mental health illness, it does not discriminate. Men, women, and children of all races and ethnicities will be afflicted. That's a big number. So go to Resolution 281.
Resolution recognizing May 2022 as Brain Cancer Awareness Month, sponsored Chairwoman Kern.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing, hearing none, anything from the public? Okay, we'll have roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Brings us to Resolution 282.
Resolution in support of Ukraine and its fight for sovereignty as a democratic country free of oppression and war. Sponsor, Commissioner Karen L. Fitzpatrick.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Sure. Madam Clerk, would you read it, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Whereas Ukraine continues to defend itself and fight the Russian invasion of its sovereign territory with attacks by the Russian military throughout the country, including attacks on hospitals, schools, and power plants. And whereas the people of Ukraine have withstood continuous attacks since the war began on February 24, 2022, and they continue to fight back against invasion on their country. Now therefore be it resolved that the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners supports the people of Ukraine and encourages all citizens to support the Ukrainian effort to defend their sovereignty and successfully win the war as a free, democratic country.
So I think we all agree that this is a heinous situation. Russia is using rape as a war crime, committing other atrocities against the people of Ukraine. And what's unique about this situation is a lot of the people who are living in Ukraine have lived under Soviet rule and know what it's like to not live in a democracy. And they are fighting with everything they have to retain their democratic country and their freedom. And I think we should support them. I think they deserve all of our support, and I encourage us to pass this resolution.
Absolutely agree with you, and I think you have a personal.
7 of my great-grandparents came to this country at the turn of the 20th century, around 1910, 1911, and the 8th one came from Romania, also a Soviet bloc country, and they were exported due to the Tsarist pogroms that happened there and the discrimination against Jewish people who lived in the countries at that time. So yes.
Any other comments from our commissioners?
I'm sure I'm going to share a very brief story. Recently we received a new student in my class who came from Ukraine about 2 years ago. And when I asked him to talk to my homeroom about where he was from, when he announced he was from Ukraine, everybody in my room stood up and applauded him. And he was very moved by that. He had family still living in Ukraine who recently fled, and he's not sure where they are now. But thankfully for him, he was able to get out prior to the Russian invasion. So I just wanted to share that because it was a really neat moment. We try not to talk about it too much in school. They ask questions, we'll try to address it. But most of them were aware of what's happening, and they reached out to this young man. It was a very heartwarming experience.
Yeah, makes it real. Okay, any comments from the public? Okay, we will have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi? Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
And Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That concludes the written portion of our agenda and the report of the special committees of the board.
Thank you. Just one, for those of you that were able to attend the legislators' night recently at the Walking Bird Farm, I think you were able to hear like firsthand some of the challenges that the second largest industry in Atlantic County is facing going forward. Not only with the current challenges for fertilizers, materials, supplies, and all that, but I think agriculture in general. And I know we discussed some of the challenges that Atlantic County is probably going to be facing with the changes in Rutgers as far as funding the extension service. And I know you guys all, and I know I can count on all you guys for that additional support, because as Rutgers changes its structure and format and how they handle agriculture throughout the state, they tend to be more into the pharmaceutical side of development as opposed to their original purpose, which was they were started as a farming college. and to support the agriculture industry in the state. And as we go forward, some of the extra responsibilities that maybe Rutgers was picking up in the past financially is going to fall back on us a little bit more in Atlantic County. And the way that it's continuing to evolve at Rutgers, if the counties don't step up with additional funding, as we explained that evening, they will simply take their resources and go to another county that's paying a little bit more. It's just the nature of what you're dealing with in New Jersey, because legislation sometimes at the state level don't recognize that how important that agriculture is. I mean, I've always kept it pretty basic. If you like eating, you better start helping out guys in agriculture, because it's very difficult to find our youth today that want to stay on a farm and work 18-hour days and take a shot if the weather's good and see if you make any money. Some of the issues that happen with agriculture that they deal with all the time is going to be important. So I appreciate the board's support, and I know when the time comes, I know Atlantic County's always been great, administration's been great. When we ask for that additional support, I know they'll be there for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other?
Chair.
Commissioner Ballas?
Yeah, just to kind of follow up with what Commissioner Ricciardo just said, myself, Commissioner Fitzpatrick, Commissioner Gatto, we were all there, and we heard loud and clear, from them. They're really afraid that the Rutgers extension is going to go away, and Rutgers is looking, for counties to pick up that cost. And with the amount of farming that we have in this county, that's something that we should really look into supporting that funding of that person. It's incredible the amount of paperwork, the amount of inspections that they have to prepare for, just to be able to go out and put some seeds in the ground and grow fruit and vegetables. They spend hours upon hours upon hours of sitting in the office doing paperwork to get ready for these inspections. The different food safety plans they have to come up with. Their food safety plans are binders. It's not a piece of paper like this, like our agenda. I mean, they're binders. And without the assistance of Rutgers Extension and the men and women that come out and go to the farms and help these farmers, they're farmers. They're not college. Most of them aren't college educated people that are very good at the paperwork. They're good at digging in the ground and growing the food and working from sun up to sun down. And whatever we can do as a county to help that industry, I think we should.
Just one point of clarification for those that don't understand, when we talk about the extension service is actually a couple of guys that are working through our county, that work through Rutgers, that are individual agents that go out to the farms. They work with product development, they work with spray materials, they answer all the hands-on day-to-day questions that farmers have in their unique situations. Because if you're fooling around with that, topography, land, types of soils, all the stuff comes into play about being an efficient, effective farmer. So that service, as you alluded to, Commissioner, and I know you guys know, you heard it loud and clear that night, was something that we must maintain. As Rutgers is going, there's a couple of openings there that they didn't replace, and I'm concerned because we're getting some of our guys that have been there for quite a few years are getting their retirement age, and then we're going to have somebody to take that role over, take advantage of the experience these guys have before they go into retirement, to be able to continue agriculture as we know it. I said it that evening, independent farmers are the ones locally that keep the prices for your food low. Because otherwise you're getting products from Chile, Panama, you're getting them from all over the planet, which is wonderful, except that if you realize how they get materials here, as I said that night, taking product and putting grapes in a trailer and putting nitrogen in it to put it in suspended animation because you have to put it on a boat to ship it over here. How do you think the products get from overseas to here? So there's a whole process involved with it. And it impacts, I think, we have to be more careful about your health and what you're eating. So it's important for us. I don't like beating the dead horse, but I'm so passionate about it. I grew up in the business. I understand it. And I know this board's going to do what it needs to do in support of it. So just something to think about.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
these two are legal, Phil and Dan talking about this, so
Yeah, and it's good information. So the real question becomes, they're threatening, Rutgers is threatening to get rid of the program, correct?
And funding has been decreasing each year.
So
The trend will be the trend.
Okay, because the reason I asked you that, what is the funding? Because, I mean, if you're asking us to take a look at it, we're gonna have to look at a dollar amount. Is it granted
I
funding,
believe,
or is it?
I believe the county's participating at 25% of the cost at the moment. It may be slightly higher because we deal with administrative costs and stuff that we try to supplement. This is in the salary and wage side, and that's where I think we're gonna have to maybe talk about additional resources so they can continue, because Rutgers will be looking at what Atlantic County and every other county's doing as far as supporting their local agents.
Sure.
And they will take their resources to where it's the most easiest for them. Let's face it, it's a college, so if it's
So let me ask
easier.
you this question through you to Jerry. It's never come up in the budget committee.
It's
in terms
new.
of- Huh?
It's new. We just were discussing this recently because as a rule, the Department of Ag and the Extension Services are always talking to Rutgers, and we're trying to get a play. There's been years where they've, the state government put
So I
in
think what
additional
we-
funding, but they put it in as a one-year type of
So I think what
situation.
we need to consider doing, and Madam Chair of the Budget Committee, we need numbers to even look at. And talk to the administration to see if it's something we can start now.
Start planning.
Right, don't wait until it happens. I mean, we need to start really looking at numbers now. And if Amy kind of put that on our next agenda to have a conversation, that you guys seem to be in touch. We really need to see what numbers are.
Well, we've
Jerry-
got some people right here.
Well, I can only, I mean, and Diana is the liaison with Rutgers Cooperative Extension, and from year to year, I mean, she'll be able to tell you that, you know,
I'm not gonna tell
it
you
goes up or
that.
down.
I'm just asking that at
Yeah.
some point we need to bring that information to the budget.
Yeah,
Sooner rather
I
than
had
later.
enough from the ag board, or from the legislative, session that they had, and that was definitely one.
So let me, I mean, again, as an example, we'll do some follow-up now. We'll do that follow-up. Like, for example, there's a department head, his name is Rick Van Franken, so that's who Diana normally works with. When I was the deputy, that's who I worked with. And it's true, like Commissioner said, is there are a few of the people there that have been there for years. I'm assuming they can retire, and they will. He's like the department head, so he signs off on cooperative extension for Atlantic. Like they do some work over in Cumberland as well. I mean, I'm only saying, I haven't heard, maybe Diana has heard that they're gonna start cutting back further. We haven't
No,
heard.
Diana hasn't heard that.
Yeah.
Rick is very upfront with us. In fact, I just emailed him to say if there's something going on I'm not aware of. But we do fund, lots of the positions are at 25%, there's one at 10%, and then there's two at 50%. So we've been working with Rick and Rutgers to identify the different areas of agriculture, because the 10% one is the marine agriculture. Ocean County was much more involved in that, so they took a greater share of it than Atlantic County did.
So I think it's fair to say that at the end of the day, my commissioners over there are putting out the clarion call now,
We're prepping
opposed to later,
Discuss.
Yeah.
which is a smart move. So again, I'm recommending that it comes before the budget committee, even for conversation purposes. We don't want to be caught at the end of the day, like you said, people retire, they gone, and we don't know what the hell's going on.
I think Commissioner, same, we're all saying the same stuff. Rick Van Kranken will be able to discuss that with Diana.
Right.
This is something we discussed the other night because of our analysis and discussions with Rutgers and some of the changes that we've been seeing, and you guys have been monitoring it as well as they go. Like I said, I spoke with the president of Rutgers, and we had a conversation on it, and I didn't feel all rosy about it as the next couple of years are going. So as I say, I know I appreciate you guys' support, and I know the ag community will appreciate it. So let's look in and start the discussion process now, so there's no surprise later on, because Rutgers will be looking at how much we fund. That's how it's going.
And they're looking to cut it in this next budget cycle, right? So
Yes.
July 1st is what we're talking about. Okay,
Let's
so,
take a look at it.
okay.
Any other
Just
reports?
in response to that, I think some counties have been trying to reduce their allocations. Rick has shared that with us. He's been very happy that we haven't been doing that. because Rutgers is getting concerned that the commitment just isn't there.
Yes.
But I don't believe that has been the case in Atlantic County at all.
It has not. You've been exemplary. The guys have always said that at the Board of Ag. So we're not saying that at all. It's just that that's shoot down like a little preemptive. So I'm letting you know where it's going to be going. We'll start talking about it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diane. Okay, do we have any other reports of special committees?
Madam Chair, you, through the Chair of the Education and Schools Committee, Commissioner Corsi, I just want to really briefly say that at our last meeting, we had a resolution that we were going to send back to, introduced by Commissioner Patino, that we're going to send back to the committee to further discussion and investigation. We had that meeting yesterday. It was a very good meeting. Some folks from the Department of Education came on and gave an education about the process. I think we cleared up some questions about the process that needs to be taken here, so I think we're all in agreement on that. And we also identified some issues in terms of, as we spoke about at the last meeting, how to get the process to the people, how to inform any of the stakeholders who want to know, parents or whoever, just what the process is, and possibly get some sort of uniformity throughout the counties, at least to Atlantic County and Cape May County to discuss. But I won't go into detail. I know that we're going back, we're going to work on a resolution, so I just want to let everyone know that hopefully by our next commissioners meeting, we'll have something new to present that everybody will be happy with. Hopefully everybody will be happy with.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Based on Commissioner Barker's comments, I do want to take the resolution that we have on the, agenda. I'm going to rescind that. So I'm going to ask Madam Clerk and our solicitor to pull that. It's going to be redone and rewritten to take the additional new information that we received at the meeting yesterday. So I want to put that as an official action, so it's not sitting out there anymore.
Okay, any other reports of special committees? Okay, seeing none, any unfinished business? Okay, seeing none, any new business? Seeing none, we have received copies of written communications and petitions. Any commissioner have any comments on the communications? Okay, seeing none? We'll now open to the public comments portion. Anyone that would like to speak during the public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and the town you reside. You'll be provided up to 3 minutes to speak. If you're attending virtually, please type yes in the question and answer box. You will be raised from an attendee to a panelist. When you're raised, please state your name and the town you reside. And do we have anybody from the public that would like to come forward?
So I sit in that seat for a while. My name is James Allen. I live in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. Been a resident there for 30 some odd years. I am here, I was brought into this a little later. Let me give you a little bit of my background. I did 25 years at the county jail. I started in '95. I went through the boot camp program with Zone. Was longest 10-year sergeant when I retired. I had 15 years in as a sergeant. I'm here to address the issue with the COVID thing. And I was just brought into this a couple days ago. I'm here as a sergeant retired. I know the officers have brought it up. I know Mr. Ferguson, I don't know if you remember me, there was I've done every contract since '95 to present with the officers and the sergeants. I have a couple of issues. I guess, I don't know who sent this.
I sent that to Mr. Perry, yeah.
Mr. Perry yesterday. I don't know if the board has seen this. Okay. I have a couple questions on it, if you don't mind. It states at the one part that 330 employees left the government from March 8th, 2020 through June 13th. Okay? Do you know how many of those were retired, how many were fired or quit?
Yeah. Generally, yes.
If we could get that.
Right.
Also, I was one of the guys that left after those dates. Okay? I put my time in. And one of the things I want to say right now is, and if anyone knows me, I fight for my members. I don't fight for them. Okay? This is what I'm asking for my members. They would go to work every day. I went to work every day. I have diabetes. I have heart conditions. And I knew that was my job. At no time did I say I was in that group that shouldn't be there. I went there. I was a first responder. Now I'm being told, and other officers, sergeants, and lieutenants, we're being told we're not getting paid for being there during that time. And I would just like to know, I mean, it says here the county decided. Who was the county that decided? Was our input taken into that decision? The union's input, because I'll tell you now, I was part of the union at that time. No one ever came up to me during that time and asked me any questions. Never told me we're going to have meetings. Now you may say, well, what were you? I was secretary for 14 years, and not once. I did a lot of negotiating. Okay, not once did anyone come up to me and say, we're discussing this. No one came up to our president and said, we are discussing this. Now granted, this was decided the first quarter of 2022. I left in 2020. This is based in 2020. 2 years before the decision. Now you could sit there and say, well, you should have stayed. Again, if I look at my case, I had to get out of there. Because I could have been one of the statistics. Okay, because of my health. Right now, I'm not wearing a mask because I have other health issues that I have to worry about that is more pressing than COVID. I have been vaccinated and all that stuff. Okay? I'm asking for some more information on this, what the decision. If it was the board, I'd like to see the minutes. If it was council, who gave council the right to decide if I get paid? Because I was there.
Okay, so Mr. Allen, if you're asking, so I'll answer some of the questions.
Okay.
So the first thing is, the money wasn't available until 2021. Okay, so we go on. So, but let me go back. So yes, we went to every single union. We had a labor negotiator, wrote to all, we have technically 23 units.
Yes, I see that.
And there was 83% of them came to the meeting with us. We gave them an opportunity to tell us what they thought was a valid program for their membership. I would probably say of the 83%, maybe 5 of them gave us some ideas about what they thought was valid. We then waited after we got all their information, and we worked with our New Jersey Association of Counties and the National Association of Counties to actually have conversations about what the final rule was going to say. That's why it didn't occur probably until the first quarter of 2022. And it does kind of say that in there. But just so you know, we made this decision based on the fact, and there was a lot of us that were involved. We were five counties out of 21 counties in the state of New Jersey, made the decision we were going to do this. So, as we've said to all 23 units, I'll say it to you again, it's not negotiable. The American Rescue Plan, the money, the usage of the money how it's being used is not a negotiable item with the unions. It is something that the administration, we're in a county executive form of government. So when we use the money, the county executive and his staff decide on how money is going to be used. We then come here and ask if it's a contractual issue, the board to vote on that. This was not a contractual issue. This was a decision we made that we thought it was a valid decision to make, that we would consider premium pay. Based on the fact that there are 330, and you're correct, not everybody left under the same conditions. Some people retired, some people went to another job because they were going to make more money. I mean, there's a variety of reasons, you know that. So we made the decision, only people on board were going to get the money. I don't know what else to say. So if you have more questions, I'm going to answer. Yeah.
I think my only question really comes to is, I understand not to pay the people that have left, okay? But the people that retired, we left not because we left for more money when we got sick of the job. We left and did our time, okay? And out of those 330, how many are actually people that retired? And could we have given that money to us, the retirees? Okay, out of the 330, if it's 30 people, the thing that got me when I read this, let me get my glasses out here because I can't see, was once an employee leaves employment, it can be difficult to track them as they may relocate, marry, remarry, divorce, change their name, or pass away. To me, that is the reason why you didn't pay. Okay? Retired people, you still have our information. Granted, the person that quit, got fired, you may not have theirs. But the people that retired, you have their information. Either through the pension board or through the benefits. We're still here. And that wording is what sort of gets me, is fine. You don't want to pay the people that left, but the people that retired, I don't consider us people that left. People that left or quit, got fired, whatever. We left because we retired. We did our time. We can get it.
We worked through
Be
COVID.
get whole.
Every one of us worked through COVID.
That's my issue.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
A little witty preacher.
Okay, that's okay, we let you go. Thank you. Okay, do we have anybody else in the public that would like to come forward?
My name is Sean Perry. I live in Gallup. I was up here a few weeks ago. I'm just going to add to what Jimmy said. We retired. We left on good standards. We weren't fired. We weren't kicked out of the job. We left. We did our 20, 25, 30, and plus years at the jail. We went through all kinds of stuff, especially we had to do with COVID. It was not fun. It wasn't easy. But we did our job. And like he said, we came to work. And some of us, like myself, I said before, I took sick. I was out for 3 or 4 weeks. But I came back and I did my job. And I don't think it's fair that we can't get paid like the rest of the officers did too. We left on good terms. Yes, we retired, but we should still get paid like the rest of the officers did. Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the public that would like to come forward?
Hi, I'm Donnie Graham. I also was employed by the county. I was employed actually with the sheriff's department for 2 years, and I transferred over to jail for 28 years.
Town you retired?
I'm sorry, Eckerberg Township. Eckerberg Township. But I too worked through COVID, and I had a heart attack too, and I still came to work every single day. That's just a job, I mean, that's who I am, and I expect to get what's entitled to me. That's all we're asking for. I think there's 25 of us. I'm not saying the other 300 people or whoever. We're talking about the people that work at Atlantic County Justice Center. That's all. We're just asking for what's entitled to us. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else from the public that would like to come forward on any issues? Do you have anybody covered? We have somebody on. Okay. William Oddie? Mr.
Hello.
Oddie?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Just state your name and the town you reside.
Yes, William Oddie, Galloway Township. I also am a former county employee who retired. I did my time, I put 20 years in. I worked for the sheriff's office. I was out on the front lines with that. I was out at the COVID test site at the mall. I arranged all of the security and the sheriff's officers for that. And I was out there day in and day out. So I think it's absolutely despicable that the county administration would not pay the retirees. I'm going to echo everything that everyone else came before me and said. You know, you don't pay the people who quit or left for greener pastures, but the people that were there, that put their time in, that were valued county employees, or so I thought, that you're just not going to pay them because, you know, you say, oh, well, we can't find people. You know how to get a hold of us. You know how to find us. We're all in the pension system. So it's absolutely ridiculous that those comments would be made, and I think it's despicable, and Mr. Del Rosso, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Is there anyone else for the public?
You can tell Mr. Oddie, I'm not ashamed of myself.
Okay.
I'll tell him myself.
Okay, any comments for the good of the order?
Okay. So we live in the Garden of the Garden State, as we've been discussing.
There's wildlife wherever you go, whether you're in Atlantic City or in Buna, there's wildlife around. And this weekend, I had a raccoon on my front porch in the daytime. And everything I've always heard was if you see a raccoon in the daytime, it means they're rabid and they have to go and get your dog and all that stuff. So I called Animal Control of the county. They called me back and they told me that that is not correct. Do not panic if you see a raccoon during the day. At this time of year, mother raccoons come out during the day in the late morning or early evening to find food for their babies. And that's what they're doing. So even if they trapped it and they found that it was a female, they would have to release it that minute right there. And if it were a male, they could relocate it, but they're not rabid necessarily. They're just looking out for their families. Thank you. Do we have anything else for the good of the order?
Madam Chair, yeah, just, if I could, just want to comment, the public that came out and spoke tonight. First, just want to say thank you for your service. You know, anyone that works 25 years or more at the Atlantic County Justice Facility or any justice facility, whether it be a county facility or state, you know, my hat's off to you. I never minded coming up there, dropping them off, and going back out the door. But to sleep, eat, and live with them during your entire career, my hat's off to you. Just so you know, as Jerry Del Rosso stated, you know, it's non-negotiable, the hazard pay or premium pay, and that's what you were told, that's what we were told. We made the suggestion months ago, might even be over a year, right? To, you know, see if we could do something with this rescue plan money and, you know, give the premium pay or hazard duty pay. We had many employees, active employees that came in and spoke. Again, who you see sitting up here and the rest of the commissioners that are online, we don't really have a say. We would love to. I personally think that you're right, and I think that you should receive it. You worked during that time. But if you put your 25 years in and got a full retirement, didn't leave early, you know, that's something that, but again, we don't have to say. We would just ask, you know, maybe the county can look into something like that, but then again, it's non-negotiable. And I read the letter, and the first thing came to my head too, you know, the county may not be able to track you down, but you're tracking the county down. So for the few people that maybe track the county down, maybe the county can do something, maybe they can't. But
Well, how do we get a resolution for this?
But, you know, I'm sure the county is listening to you. You know, the people that, you know, make the decisions are sitting in the room or sitting online right now. And, you know, maybe it can happen and maybe it can't. But either way, like I said, I just, you know, want to thank you for your service. And we appreciate the time and dedication that you gave to the county over, you know, 25 plus years.
Do we have anything else for the good of the order? Okay, I just want to like to take the opportunity to ask all, as we get into Memorial Day, because we won't have a meeting until, you know, until after that, but keep those in our military and those that have lost their lives in your mind. I know a lot of people go out because it's a long weekend, but, you know, remind others, you know, the reason for, you know, the Memorial Day weekend outside. It is the start of the summer. Let's hope that it's a very good one. We choose it, but, you know, all the best to the families and residents throughout the county. Okay, I'll have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.